Welcome, everybody. Here we go. This is a good one today. I'm super excited to be sharing some information hot off the press, what's going on out on the water, and also etiquette on how to fish for what's going on out on the water. Because as you all know from what you saw this weekend, etiquette has left the building. So today is sponsored by Promar Ahi. Check out promarahi.com for all your fishing needs. They cover pretty much everything you need in the fishing as far as bait scoops and gaffs and landing nets and lures and sabiki rods and sabikis and just a plethora of products over at Promar is absolutely mind-boggling. When you go over there to the website and visit Promar Ahi, you're going to be blown away. The QR code's up on the screen there. All members, everybody that's watching the show, you save 15% today on any products that you get at Promar. And remember, that landing net is a must-have. It's not even a negotiation. And they're asking about it now, right when they get on the boat. Show us your fishing licenses, and while you're getting those out, where's that landing net located at? We need to see that landing net. And then we're going to look through your cooler and see what kind of fish you got. But I need the fishing licenses right now, gang, and I need your landing net. Those are two easy, low-hanging fruit tickets for them to write. So those are the two things they're asking right when they get on your boat. And they see what's going on right now on the Huntington Flats. They see all the boats. So they're out there in mass numbers right now, the Fish and Wildlife, and as well as they should be, because we haven't seen this kind of sand bass fishing in a very, very long time. I think the boys are all saying 18 years since anybody's seen it like it is right now. And it's been going for almost 2 weeks here straight. And it gets better as the season gets longer. And if it's anything like historic, we look back in our history books, this sand bass barracuda bite lasts all the way in through August. So kick back, relax, and get ready for some incredible fishing. And today we're going to be talking more about etiquette and how you should go about fishing for these things. Because this is a fishery, most of you, especially if you haven't been in this industry for the last 20, 25 years, you've never seen what's going on right now in Huntington Beach on the flats in the mud. The highly migratory species, the barred sand bass, has made one of the most incredible journeys. They come up from Mexico. And they come up into Southern California when the water's right, when the current's right, when everything's set up. They come up here into Southern California, and they spawn in our waters. Good morning, Captain Al Clowers. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dave.
Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you on here. I'm glad you were able to join us.
Good to be seen.
So today we're going to talk about etiquette, and we're going to talk a little bit about your chum tubes, because they're making all the difference for our guys on the private boats. This sand bass fishery, gang, is a set and wait type of fishery. If you watched our live show today and Al was on there watching, Matt Ryan anchored up on a little dab of sand bass. He had a little bit of marks on his photometer. And the longer he could set there and the more he could work that chum tube, the better it got, Al. And as you saw at the end there, they were culling fish for the last hour and a half. They were trying to get bigger ones.
Right. That's how it works. You get that thing in the water and you start getting that cloud going, and those sand bass will come right up off 60 foot of water right up into that stuff. No problem.
It's a pretty amazing fishery right now. Most people, Al, haven't even seen this before, which is pretty spectacular that we were able to save the... First of all of you showing up at the meetings, we were able to save this fishery. They wanted it with no science at all. They wanted it a no-take fishery this year. That would have destroyed the industry. We would have all, and we knew this fish was coming. Those of us like Captain Al and myself that have been doing this for a long time, we knew the table had been set. The higher power, which Al and I like to call God, set the ocean up so that we would catch this barred sand bass, right, Cap? And Captain Al, what about the fishing in the back bay right now? My gosh, you were out there with Bam and Nick the other day. How fun was that?
That was cool, man. It did exactly what I thought it would do, except for the corvina. But one day you can find those things, and then You can't catch them every day. It's hot here right now, so well, it's in the 80s, high 80s. So that weather right there, good tides and glassy conditions in the evening and the morning, you should be able to get on those Corvina. But I took 2 scoops of chovy back there, and I was barreling that stuff everywhere.
Right.
Oh yeah. But the bass fishing, on my trips normally I don't take bait because I can catch them just as fine with other stuff. But lately, when I have taken bait looking for those Corvina, we're fishing up on top of grass beds and stuff, and it's pretty shallow, 6-8 feet. You start burning that stuff around, you fly line those anchovies on a spinning rod or whatever you want, and everything started doing backflips out of the water, man. Bass and Corvina and everything else. And we couldn't keep those. We got some. I got an 18-inch spotty the other day on a chovy.
Wow, that's
but
a
we
beautiful.
caught like, I don't know, 40 or 50 spotties, like 24 bonefish, a couple of cool little, a couple of the bigger model shovel nose for the kids. They had a good time with those. And a couple Corvina. All in about 4 hours.
No, that was insane fishing. And here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Pablo, fishing every day under the radar, not letting anybody know what he's doing. How's that working out for your business, buddy?
It's doing pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's just been really busy, and we didn't, had some issues, obviously, with clients that don't want to be on the video, and you got to respect that. But no, it's good. It's busy. Everything's good. You guys see the community. Everybody's doing well. It's just a great time to be fishing here.
Yeah, and how cool was that tournament? You guys caught a big sea bass, and you had the biggest sand bass or calico on the tournament. My gosh.
So, well, yeah, but so we ended up just not even, like, the guys were having so much fun fishing. I know it sounds really silly, but everybody's having such a good time fishing. Nobody wanted to rush back and do the weigh-in, so we didn't even weigh those in. So we were all in for the yellowtail, and the consensus was, you know what, no yellowtail, no weigh-in. So, but we had a blast. It was Steve Duncan, John Stanley. Bugman actually hooked one, but it was during like a crazy just bass explosion. So he thought it was a bass, and it just took off, and he lost it. But yeah, that was about it on those. But what a great time in La Jolla. We dropped the hook. We were the first ones up there. We left really early in the morning trying to get that early bite, and it was just wide open all day. I mean, everything except for the yellows.
Well, you got John Stanley, his very first local white sea bass, so that was a day maker. You've done a lot of firsts for John Stanley, my God.
Yeah, and Gio too. His buddy Gio caught one. They actually they caught 3. So
legal?
No, not 3 legal. One was 28, and then the other 2 were babies. They were like, 1.5 feet or whatever, But yeah, I mean, it's just good to see 3 of those during the day. I mean, there's so much squid between, I don't even know how far down south it goes, but between Mission and, Del Mar, the furthest that I've looked around for it, I mean, there's just a ton of squid beds everywhere. You just got to find them. And, a little clue at night, you look for big bright lights out there and just go make your own squid. Don't get near those guys with the bright lights because you won't be able to compete, but you can just meter around and find your own section, and they're pretty easy to make. Everybody's been making it. Some guys have some that they'll sell, but it's best just to go make your own. And yeah, the squid's been working. We've been making our own mackerel, sardines here and there, and just a lot of anchovies. And the anchovies have just been working wonders. I mean, they just get everybody going. And yeah, so we've been using all kinds of baits and all kinds of different techniques, and everything seems to be working. But yeah.
Captain Al Clowers, aren't you happy to see anchovies in the bait barge again?
Oh yeah, they're nice fat ones too.
It makes all the difference in the world, like Pablo was just saying. And I'm reading John Stanley's post. Pablo, it's raining calico bass, full speed, as good as it can be. It's because of the anchovies, gang. That fish is always there. It's been there forever. We just haven't had the ability to catch it. When you throw an 8-inch bait at a 14-inch bass, it's kind of hard to catch them, right, Pablo?
Yeah, and sometimes the hungry ones will definitely gulp it down. But yeah, if you want to maybe catch some, use some big old sardines or something. But if you want to go full speed and just like have pliers, everybody almost needs pliers on their belt because it's just full speed chaos. I mean, those things are everywhere. They're back flipping. I mean, you just throw out a couple handfuls and you just see them just blow up everywhere around the boat. We dropped the hook and we didn't move. We trolled around for a while, tried every other, trolling technique. And then I just said, you know what, let's just chum up on the hook. And then John Stanley loves that because, that's one of his favorite techniques. And it was such a great day. We just sat there all day. And by the time we were there for a couple hours, there was probably, I don't even know, 500 boats up in La Jolla. There was a lot. But for the most part, everybody, kept their distance or whatever. But we stayed in the same spot on that high spot that we always talk about all day long and just nonstop action all day long. A couple sheephead, sculpin, I don't even know, barracuda, bass. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
And Captain Al, when you got bait that you can actually catch fish on, it's pretty fun. You got so excited the other morning when you took those kids fishing in the back bay with you. You were so excited to go to the bait barge and get anchovies. That's what it's like, gang, for us that have been doing this for a while. We get excited when we have bait that actually is going to work. It's kind of hard to get excited, Al, when you're going to the bait barge to go fish in the back bay and all they got is 8-inch sardines. You're kind of like, huh.
Yeah, you're kind of out of luck, actually.
Yeah. So we want to talk about etiquette today. I got these two guys right here that both have charter boats, and the whole thing is this etiquette thing. We're finding out it's kind of out the window. There's no more etiquette out there. Everybody's pissed off at the whole world. Well, especially living in California when you got a king dictating what you get to do every day. It kind of makes it tough to be in a good mood. And then you get out there on the water and you see Pablo anchored up on a spot. You see Captain Al anchored up on a spot. You believe in your heart you need to get as close to them as you possibly can because that's the only way you're going to get to catch a fish. Al, talk about how important it is to not fish for the other boats.
Yeah, it's totally important. Every trip, if I stop the boat, next thing you know, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boats, and you can see them. You can see them coming from a long way.
They're looking for you.
Yeah.
They're looking for you too, Pablo. It's any of us that have a half a clue of how to fish, gang. It's sad though, because if they were just, and I know I pump the website all the time, but if they were just members of some type of website that could help teach them, that's the biggest problem. Most people get out there, Pablo, and they don't have a plan. They don't have anything to go off of except to look for Pablo or Al, and they drive by. They don't even really want to look. It's just like when you're driving by on the freeway and there's an accident and you're all pissed because everyone's slowing down to look, and then you find yourself as you go by going, ooh, and then you're part of the problem. Same thing when you're out fishing, gang, on your private boat and you drive by and you see Pablo anchored up on a spot and you see Steve Duncan hooked up. You're like, stop. We got to go over there. He's got a fish on. Or you're driving around Coronado Island. You see Captain Al Clowers. You're like, oh shit, that's Al. Slow down. Oh, Al's hooked up. We got to go check him out. Right, Al? And if they do need to check you out, they got to approach you from the bow. Don't come flying in on Al's stern. How fun is that when you see that, Al?
It's lovely. It happens all the time. Not only me. Those guys are looking for boats that are stopped, hooked up, It's not just me. They just go boat fishing.
They're fishing for boats, gang. They're out there looking around for the other boats. And if you know some spots and you have the bitch and bait now, you really should only be out there looking for conditions and trying to get anchored up on a spot and establish yourself. We got to see that firsthand this morning with Matt Ryan on the live show. Matt got out there. There were no other boats out there. He anchored up, started catching fish, and then pretty soon all the boats rolled in. And a lot of the sport boat guys, they were on their way to that area anyway. They know where the fish are at. But the private boaters, they're just rubbernecking the whole time, trying to see what boat's getting bit. And it's such a gnarly time to be in the industry, gang, when the fish are biting like they're biting right now.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to anchor. And Pablo, you guys got out there, yeah, and you guys didn't look for any boats. You went right to the spot, saw there was conditions, threw the anchor down. How many boats were bouncing off your side?
Oh man, I mean, throughout the day there was hundreds of boats up there, literally. But yeah, there was some people that got so close and were just like, "Come on, man!" And a few of them obviously are buddies, and but even then they don't get that close. I saw a question about respectable distance, or acceptable distance. I would say just don't be within casting distance and don't approach any boat from down current, because if you're coming up, from the down current and they got long soakers out there, we got some fly lines going, whatever. Yeah, that could be really bad, because the best case scenario is you just snap the line off and everything's fine. But the worst case scenario is, number one, you can mess up your boat. Number two, you're going to mess up whatever we have going on. And it's not that hard. Just, if you see like it's a fishy area, just get as far away from that other boat as you can, or go find your other fishy area. I mean, we were there all day, and we probably, I don't know, probably at least 30 to 50 boats came real close to us, real close, just drifting by, but not doing it right.
Well, and also drifting.
Yeah.
You got to anchor up and establish yourself with one of Captain Al's chum tubes.
Yep.
And then if you anchor, if you're using Captain Al's chum tube and you're drifting, you're not really using Captain Al's chum tube. You're kind of just, you're chumming for every other boat out there on the water, but you're not chumming for yourself.
Right.
Right,
yeah,
Al?
Yes, sir.
Those things are phenomenal. They work great. We used it and we love it. I think everybody needs to have one of those on their boat. And you're exactly right, Cap. Like, if you're just chumming and drifting, you're just basically feeding the fish in the ocean. I mean, they haven't established, their scent or their tracks. They're not coming to you as the chum is supposed to do. They're cruising and you're cruising. So you're never going to meet up. You might get lucky by chance, but I mean, something's to be said about dropping the hook. And we talk about this all the time. You don't just, if you know the spot, yeah, you drop it one time and the current's right, everything's set up, and you're good. Like I did the same thing on the, another spot we'll talk about later, but another reef near Mission, and we loaded up. We were there, the only boat on it, and there was like 20 boats drifting by this reef, and nobody was catching. We were the only ones catching because we were on the hook with a good chum line and plenty of fish.
Captain Al,
it's amazing how that thing works. Especially
talk about how
nice mellow tide where it starts flowing away from the boat and sinking. Oh yeah, they love it.
We'll talk about how important it is, because you're fishing. The other day, you're fishing in the back bay and you're fishing in very shallow water. And a lot of people that are watching would think, well, I'm fishing in shallow water, I could just drift with the chum tube. No, explain to them why that doesn't work, because they've heard it from me a million times, but having you and Pablo here.
Well, when you're drifting, it's dispersing way out away from the boat. So you're chumming for 100 yards outside of your strike zone. You want that chum to be right in your strike zone in casting distance. We literally put that thing out and the fish come right up there, and then we pitch the baits right into where the chum is at. And the calico fishing, like Pablo was doing, you anchor up and back up into right outside the kelp. Like when it was the other day or when it is today, it's wide open out there, and those calicos just come right up to it,
Oh yeah, and you want to get them.
Pull them.
You want to get them jumping around, throw a little scoop of some live chovies and just watch them just start backflipping all around the boat. That's literally what we did all day. And then we were dropping squid down to the bottom, and we just had we had some live squid too. So we had a really good mix of bait.
Right.
Well, we watched Captain Al in the Back Bay the other day on the live show, gang. And if you paid attention, if you watched it from the beginning, the number one thing he did was he got his chum tube in the water. Then he started getting the boys set up and telling them what to do and stuff, because Captain Al's chum tube works with his boat. Just like Pablo, the chum tube works with his boat. John Stanley, he'll tell you he's not even stopping till the chum tube's deployed. Then the anchor goes out, because what's happening with the chum tube is it's just raining bait down behind the boat onto the rock or onto the structure or onto the mud, whatever the fish is that you're trying to catch. And all of a sudden you look behind the boat, and Al had this going on. We didn't get to see what Pablo was doing, but we can only imagine, because they're telling us that the bass were flipping everywhere. But on Al's boat, we were all watching the bonefish coming up behind the boat in that chum line, which was absolutely incredible. All those little particles of food are just, if you think about snow, it's just snowing back behind the boat. And even if a fish isn't interested, Captain Al or Pablo, they're going to come in to see what the hell's going on, because there's so many other fish there going, what is going on there? And they want to get in and see what the hell's going on. And then the next thing you know, you're hooked up. Hook up. Bonefish.
It didn't take long. The first bait in the water was bent the other day. And we caught about 24 of them, I think.
And then here's what happens, Al and Pablo. All the other boats that are out there watching, all of a sudden they see these fish boiling behind your boats. They don't know why, but you know what they think? They got to get behind you. I got to get up there with that chunk. I got to get behind Al's boat. And then here's what they scream. You don't own the ocean. Okay. Didn't say I did. Just trying to fish. All we're doing is trying to fish here. And you're driving around behind the boat. I want to explain to everybody why you never want to get on the back of anybody. Let's just say Pablo's in a wide open bite and you've seen him. You know what you do? You want to be part of the wide open bite? Go anchor up off his bow. It works flawless. All the fish are swimming up current. So Pablo's got that chum bucket going, or the chum tube going, and the fish are boiling behind his boat. You anchor up on his bow. Now those fish, as they swim through his chum line and past his boat, they're going up to your boat. Same thing with Captain Al Clowers. But you do not want to anchor up on their stern. First of all, now Pablo can yell at you perfectly because you're right behind him. And the wind's blowing that way, so you'll be able to hear every word he says. Captain Al can talk to you, no problem, because you're behind his boat. All the passengers get to talk to you too, but now you're right where all our lines are going. So you're not going to catch anything, but you're going to cause a big bunch of crap going on. Don't get behind anybody. It's not going to do you any good. You're not going to catch anything, and you're going to just look like a complete fool in front of all your buddies. And believe me, Al and Pablo do not want to yell at you. They don't want to spend their day worrying about you bouncing off the side of their boat. But I don't know how many times I told my clients when we would get out there, don't get embarrassed when we pull up here and we start catching fish and all these other boats have to watch. But that's what they're doing when they watch Pablo and Al. They're watching. You're not going to catch unless you anchor up perfectly off of their bow, because Al's on his little favorite honey hole. Pablo's on his favorite little John Stanley spot. You're not going to get in there if you're going up the back of their boat. You're just not going to be in the position to catch anything, right, guys?
That's right.
Yeah, you're watching other people catch fish. You got to focus on your own deal.
And you know where you could watch other people catch fish all day and save a shit gob of fuel?
On your saltwater
guide. If you want to watch,
YouTube.
You don't have to go out there and spend all that money on bait and fuel. You could actually just watch it at home.
Yeah, it's funny you said that, because you would see like once in a while somebody catching something small or whatever, but like very few and far between, where the biggest problem on our boat was for me to keep a rod and reel in service. Like I kept on like, okay, unhooking, untying, retying. I mean, keep deploying. And it was just one after the other, just like, let's just keep it flowing. I mean, that was the biggest thing, is just keep it flowing. And everybody else was like trying to get it flowing, you know?
Right.
And that brings up a perfect point. Thank you so much for that. Gang, the biggest problem I see when I'm watching you guys is somebody catches a fish, everybody pulls their line out of the water, and then all of a sudden the fish leave. You don't want to pull all your lines out of the water. When I was running party boats, sport boats, whatever you want to call them, we have 100 people on the boat. We were in a wide open Byte on that sand bass grounds, and you wanted to rotate. You would have half the boat, all the odd numbers, wind them up and move around to your right 15 spaces till you come to the same number next color. Then when everybody else gets their lines down, then you tell all the even numbers. But the last thing you want to do when you're out there and you're established yourself on the Byte is to pull all the food out of the water. And you got to keep an eye on Al's chum tube too, because when you're in a wide open Byte, pretty much if you're not paying attention, that chum tube ends up getting cleaned out because you've been on that spot for 2 hours. You haven't put any new chum in the tube. All of a sudden the food stops going out. Those fish are going to split. You got to keep feeding them, right?
Yep. Yeah, that if you don't nail it too much, it'll last about 5 hours with a gallon bag of sardine.
Yeah, and it's sometimes like you just go up and check on the chum tube, and it's like a little aquarium. Like there's all these little fish just hanging out by it, up by the anchor line, you know, up in the front of the boat.
Right. Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, Jeanette. It's like an oil slick behind the boat. It's just, if you watch it and you pay attention, if there's a lot of wind, you're not going to see it. But if it's just a slight breeze, you can see that slick going behind your boat. And then you start seeing the bonefish come up, or like Pablo says, the calico bass cartwheeling back there, which is my favorite thing in the whole world to see. Yeah, pretty wild.
Happening. On those calico trips, man, I get pinned to depends what boat I'm on, but the deckhand or myself gets pinned to the bait tank.
Yep.
I just tell them, swing that hook over here. I pin another one on. Here comes another one for hours.
So see that picture I'm trying to get so that we could all see it, but I can't get it up there so you can all see it. That is the anchor line of a private boat, a 22 foot, it looks like a small, maybe a Wellcraft or something, couple of guys on it. That's their anchor line. And then the bigger boat you see right there, that's the Patriot. These guys got their anchor line tangled up with the Patriot's anchor line, gang.
Oh, man.
Yesterday out on the flats on a Sunday. And that anchor line stretched out 100 feet. And if we could see the whole picture, and dang it, I wish I could, you could see their anchor is lodged in the bow roller of the Patriot. Figure that one out.
You know what's really wild is the guys, and there's probably 20% of them on a day. They'll try to set their anchor, and the anchor won't stick. And they come drifting by your boat all frustrated because their anchor won't stick. That's the worst.
Because they're not a member of a website that teaches you. And I know you all know everything there is to know about everything. But until somebody shows you the exact, and listen, Chapman's is not where to learn. There's no such thing as anchoring with 6 to 1 or 8 to 1 or 12 to 1. That's impossible. I teach you exactly how to anchor the proper way on my website. And if, some of the other websites that teach, like Billy K or Captain's Concept, you want to go watch their how to anchor videos. Oh, wait, they don't have that on there. Oh, maybe somewhere there's a video that teaches you how to anchor. I'll promise you there's no one that anchored up as many times as I've done in a day on a different boat. On a sport boat, we might anchor 15 or 20 times in a day to make sure we get on the spot right. On a private boat, Kelly and I will anchor up 5 or 6 times to make sure we're on the spot proper. You got to have a website that teaches you the right way to anchor. And going through the book, How to Anchor in Chapman's, it says the average you want to go 6 to 1 or 8 to 1. Could you imagine Captain Al Clowers anchoring up at the Coronados in 100 feet of water and letting out 800 feet of rope?
Gosh,
that would suck.
That's what Chapman's teaches you, 8 to 1 or 6. Let's just say 6 to 1. Okay, so you anchored up in 100 feet of water, you let out 600 feet of rope. You don't have to do that, gang. You should have the length of your boat in chain, and then you should never count the chain when you're dropping your anchor. And when it gets more windy, you put out more. I know we don't call it rope. I know there's some superstars of boating on here. It's called line. I can't say line because I'm in sobriety right now and I did more lines than all of you. So I call it rope. But there was a time when I was
on the Riviera, I have 100 foot of chain. That 100 foot hits the bottom of the ocean, and most of the time the anchor's just sitting there. It's not even dug in.
Yeah, you want to have all the chain laying flat on the bottom. So what Al's trying to tell you is if you're anchored up in 60 feet of water, you have 100 feet of chain. You drop all 100 feet out. So you put out 60 feet of rope or line, anchor line. We don't want to use road. So you put out that rope, or on Pablo's boat, you got 30 feet of chain or 50 feet of chain. All the chain lays flat on the bottom. Always remember that. So you don't count the chain when you're dropping for the depth you're dropping it. Well, I got 100 feet of chain. I should only have to let out. It's 30 feet deep. I should only have to let out 40 feet of chain. Well, if you don't want to hold the bottom, that's a perfect idea.
That's right.
If you want to anchor up proper, you got to put all the chain out. Every inch of it should be laying flat on the bottom. And then that'll hold your boat, I promise you. And the more wind, the more rope.
Absolutely. And this is what I do with my rode is I back my boat in all the time. So when I want to go check the anchor marks on the anchor rod, I bow it in and I get somebody and I pull all the anchor rope out of the boat, lay it on the dock, take a nice 3x3 piece of cardboard, and I go back and I highlight all the lines because I have 100 foot marks on my chain, and it lets me keep track of how much I got out, and it works really good. And then I have the numbers right on up in my bridge. So now, if you have 500 foot of chain and road, you definitely want to know where you're at when you're dropping all that stuff.
Now, Pablo and Al, myself, Justin, Sonny, we're using Promar products all the time. I want to show you guys a Promar product that you got to have because we're going into tuna season here now. So check this cedar plug out real quick, and then we'll get right back to Pablo and Al. Hi, gang. Your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen, with some more bitchin' Ahi Promar products. So,
PromarAhi.com.
Different products, but what we're talking about today is the lure that I always have in the spread, whether I'm fishing marlin or I'm fishing tuna or fishing bonita or fishing yellowtail and we're trolling. We always have the 6-inch wood cedar plug color, the natural color cedar plug. This is by Ahi, Promar Ahi. You go to the store, look at the cedar plug variety. They have the daisy chains, but I'm telling you, you always have to have the natural wood in the pattern behind the boat. What eats these? Marlin, wahoo, tuna, dorado, yellowtail, bonita. People have even caught white sea bass on them, trolling along the edges of the kelp. I'm telling you, the cedar plug, the natural color, 6-inch by so check out the 6-inch natural wood colored cedar plug and all the other products over PromarAhi.com. Thank you. So Pablo and Al, do you guys use any Promar products on your boats?
Oh yeah,
100%, pretty much exclusively. My little pantry used to be for like plates and cups and stuff. Now it's a little Promar tackle setup.
Captain Al,
GT4 fluorocarbon's a must.
You got a couple of spools on your boat?
Yeah, I do. I just got back from being down there and I went through all the big rods with a fine-tooth comb and dialed everything in for offshore fishing. And I pretty much exclusively put that GT4 on there.
I saw the other day when you were ghost shrimp hunting, you gave the kids the easy to use ghost shrimp pump, that stainless steel one, and you were using that dinosaur one that you have, because it's a little harder to use, but that stainless steel ghost shrimp pump's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's they both work great, but the Promar one is super smooth. He never did it before, so I'm like, I better give him the good one, so at least he has half a chance.
Right.
And he got it pretty quick, so it worked out good because he probably caught 15 and I caught about 20 or so. That spot's kind of getting mowed down now. It's hard to get a bunch over there.
You know a couple more spots, though. I know a spot where you can jump in and sink up to your knees.
Yeah, there's a bunch more spots. You just got to be careful because it has that quicksand mud.
Yeah, we almost lost Al's boots the first time I went with him, Pablo.
Yeah, that's a real kick. To go with Al is the best because he's got it so dialed, and he makes you think like, oh yeah, all you got to do is like just pull up on it and squirt him out on the sand. You know, the like you said, the Promar one's a lot simpler to use, but like the old school one, man, it takes a lot of finesse. Like I was just focused on trying to get a couple. You know, it was fun. That stuff's incredible.
It's a cool trip for the kids, you know, or even light line fishing guys. Just going on, like those kids were telling me, man, this is like going on the coolest outdoor field trip ever, because they never did it either before, you know.
Oh yeah, and then that young man, Bam, he's so excited right now because his picture went out across to all my social media this morning. So he's like a superstar at school right now because he's viral on Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Megaphone, everywhere, Facebook. He's got thousands and thousands of views on that picture with that giant shovel-nosed shark that's almost as big as he is, Al.
Right. I told him, I go, hey, you guys want to try to catch a couple sharks? Yeah. So I only took one shark rod. And the one Bam caught, he caught it on a live chovy.
That was a beautiful
line chovy on 12 pounds.
That was a beautiful fish. Yeah. And then you told me the other day that Captain Pablo came back and fished the back bay and gave a call to you. How did that work out, Pablo?
It worked out great. You know, it's like I'm playing in his backyard. I'm gonna number one ask him for permission. No, just kidding. But you know, I gotta hit Al up. He's the mayor down there in that bay, so I had to hit him up and then just confirm my spots and if he knew any hot bites or anything going there, and he helped me out. And I tried all my spots. I tried a few of his spots too, and it was a lot of hard work, but it was mostly the spotties are just insane in that bay right now that you can't get past them almost. It's just like every single hook was a spotty, and we got some short halibut, and then we got one really nice big sand bass, which was cool. And yeah, so no legal halibut, but I mean, that bay is alive. Everything's alive right now. But yeah, the tips from Al were very, very helpful.
It's frustrating when the bass are biting that good and you're trying to catch halibut.
I know. You're just like, come
especially
on, bro.
Especially with a stinger hook, dude. They just get annihilated.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we couldn't get past them, but then it was funny because then at one of the spots we finally started getting past them. That's where we got the big sand bass and we got some short halibut, and it was like, all right, here we go. And then the guys opted to go load up on some more rockfish for their coolers. So, but they had a blast in the harbor. Just San Diego Bay is so neat to check out.
Yeah.
So if you had some children, would you suggest going out with Captain Al and going spotty fishing?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you guys want, like Al was talking about, the experience of making the ghost shrimp, I mean, that right there alone is incredible. Kids would never forget that. And then take them into that back bay and catch them everything. I mean, it's just nonstop fishing. It's insane. I can't even imagine what it's like right now because, Mission Bay is super good too. But back there, I mean, when you go back in that back bay, it's like if you got lines on the bottom, they're bit. If you got lines fly lining, they're bit. I mean, it's just constant bite.
Yeah, those trips wear me out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on back there, boy. Versus just driving the Riviera.
That's true.
Oh yeah, I come out of there a little sore. I was a little sore that day coming out of there.
Yeah.
And
So
it's kind of weird that not more people are taking advantage of the two of you guys fishing in the back bays with all the people that are in San Diego right now on summer vacation. All the hotels are packed. Gang, you're looking for something to do. I'll tell you what, you don't have to worry about getting seasick. You go fish with Pablo in Mission Bay, or you come down and fish with Captain Al Clowers in San Diego. I know you guys both are itching to go offshore and go catch a giant bluefin and spend thousands of dollars on fuel. I know you are. I know. I don't know why you are, but I know you both are so excited about catching a bluefin. But this fishing that's going on right now in San Diego Bay is just second to none. And you got to burn a half of a Dixie cup full of fuel. I mean, that would turn me on as a charter boat captain. But I know the two of you guys are big game hunters and you want to go offshore and burn thousands of dollars worth of fuel all day. I know that.
If I really wanted to go do that, I would already be posting a bunch of big ones, but I haven't been. So
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It cost
Yeah,
me too much.
I mean-
It cost me too much money in the Riviera to go fun fishing right now. It's like shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what.
It costs about $1,000 just in fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's so many fish out there right now, and it's starting to heat up offshore for sure.
It's biting.
Been talking to a bunch of the guys at the docks, but yeah, it's, you don't have to do that. I mean, that's an option, and we're happy to do it. But man, I mean, if you want just wide open, it just depends on what you want. If you want to go hunting and you want to get your trophy fish, cool. We're happy to do it. We'd love to do it, and we'll get them for you. But if you want to keep your hooks bent all day long with the kids, with the family, and bring home quality eats as well, I mean, the inshore stuff right now, it doesn't get better than this. It doesn't get better as far as inshore stuff, except for maybe a couple more cooperative yellowtail or something like that. But they're here and they're ready. There's sea bass around, there's yellowtail around, and you don't have to go more than a few miles from Mission Bay for that. And same with San Diego Harbor. You can do in the harbor, near the harbor. We've got all these spots wired for everybody.
Right.
And all I'm trying to say, gang,
the good news outside of the inshore stuff is the kelps are starting to load up with yellows. There's those big bonita being found again, and there's some of the smaller grade bluefin within 35 miles of Point Loma.
Yep, and everything's getting ready to explode right around the time we said 4th of July. Here we go.
Yeah, it's time to get them 12-hour trips booked, local 12 hours.
So if you guys have been waiting for this to happen, it's happening. There's no reason to wait anymore. This is when you need to book these two guys. They want to go offshore and go catch you some big tunas. They want to go offshore and find the yellowtail. They want to go do that. The biggest problem we're having right now is no one's calling anybody. We're not getting any phone calls. I don't know why. I don't know what we're waiting for. Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, I started getting a few bookings here and there, and, I've been pretty busy, but man, I've been doing boat work too. I've been doing plumbing, electrical. I mean, you name it. I've been rewiring boats. I've been doing anything just to keep it going and with a flexible schedule. So if I get trips, I can go. And, but yeah, I mean, I had 3 trips in a row last week, and I don't have anything this week. I have a couple trips this weekend coming up, but yeah, July is fairly open. I mean, I probably have like at least 15 days in July that are wide open, and August still looks pretty good. And I know what's happening. We just got to get some more people excited, and get some more people willing to go out and spend a little money and have a great day for them or their friends or family. And but whatever anybody's looking for, we got it covered here. I mean, we can go anywhere with our boats and look for anything you want to target, and then we'll make our suggestions as well.
Absolutely, Pablo. It's crazy what's going on out there.
And that wind is going to back off July, August. I mean, we've always had wind in June, gang. So don't worry about that. Everything's going to get better. And the fish are here. They're biting. I saw some phenomenal photos from some offshore stuff from Carl and everybody. There's big schools of yellows. They're going to start going on the kelps like Al was saying. Everything, the table's set. It's time for the band to start playing.
Here you go, Dave. I'm going to send you a quick chum tube video.
No way. I got one right here from John Stanley. Should we show that one?
From him pumping it?
Yeah.
It took me 10 minutes.
Way to go right here. Instant chum line. We got big sardines. Too big to use for bait. So I put about 4 of them in there. And you can see the chum line. You can see the fish in there. Look, there's calicos everywhere. I know what those other fish are. But
where is it?
wow. That's all it takes.
I got
that's how you look at all the calicos. That is all calico back there. Talk about increasing the prey density level.
I'm standing by. Oh, just came through. Let me load it up while you and Pablo talk.
Yeah, Pablo, I got 7 trips on the books for July right now.
Oh shit, that's
back in the day. If I started a month, well, if I was a week before the month's end, and I had 6 or 7 trips, I'd do like 27 trips that month. But I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but I sure hope it is. So,
well, yeah, last year I ran 30 days in July, and half of those with both boats.
Right.
And this year it's like, you know, I got a few like you. And then I'm also doing the 2 days a week for, you know, the family that I run the Bertram for. And so I have, you know, trips planned with them as well. But I still have plenty of availability, and they're willing to be flexible with me so I can do charters as well, because they know that's, you know, the bread and butter. But yeah, people just gotta call and let's go.
That local offshore stuff's gonna bust wide open.
Yeah,
it's already worth going out there right now. I had some guys go southwest yesterday that didn't get bit, but I had some guys who went west and a little bit north, and they found some kelps with quite a few yellows on them.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's time. It's time to go looking.
Yeah.
I think Joe Lopez is my next one of our members. Joe Lopez, he's on here right now. Him and one of his buddies, we're going to go out pretty soon. Try to go out there looking around for patties.
Yeah. I went down to my boat and went through all that big stuff today.
Yeah.
Sitting in there.
On my podcast right now. Okay, that video is almost loaded. Stand by. And yeah, free stuff for all the kids if you can find Captain Dave. Dave said a bad word on the show today. Thanks, Jeanette. Good to see you, Jeanette. Jeanette, Captain Al, and Captain Pablo say hi. I haven't seen Jeanette for a long time.
Yeah, she needs to get out. She needs to get out fishing for sure. Her and David.
Look at that bad boy. Woo. Just oozing out.
Look at that. There wasn't even a fish there. Now there's a million fish. That was magic.
That's how it works.
Right, Pablo? Is that how it looks off the back of your boat? Nothing, and then all of a sudden they're trying to eat the back of your boat.
Yeah, it's great, man. I mean, there were sometimes I would look around, the guys were just playing with them like a bait, like right on the surface, like just the leader touching the water, you know, and they were just smashing all around all day long.
That's ridiculous. The power of Al's chum tube. Makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, so, about 30 of them here right now, ready to ship.
And we got to see Matt Ryan using it this morning. The proof's in the pudding, gang. And those of you that are on the Midwest, Louisiana guys, all you RCT people, that chum tube will work flawless for you guys too. It will work anywhere you take it if there's fish involved, right, Al?
Oh, yeah. There's a catfish guy that has it here in San Diego. He predominantly fishes catfish, and he loves that thing. He fishes it like in the back of El Cap in probably, I don't know, 7-8 foot of water. He won't go without it now. Yep.
So I'm going to throw up your QR code, Captain Pablo. Then I'll throw up Al's. Talk about your charter business. What can they expect? How can they get a hold of you? What kind of deals you got? How big's your boat? There's a lot of new people here. Since the last time I had you guys on here explaining your operations, I'll bet you we've gone up 100,000 subscribers across.
Oh, wow.
So we're at just almost 900,000 now.
So, yeah, I'm Captain Pablo, for anybody that doesn't know, and I run Fernandez Charters out of Mission Bay. I have a 30-foot Boston Whaler Conquest, and it has twin Honda 250s, latest electronics, a smaller stern bait tank, and then a midship larger bait tank, tuna tower. I mean, it's built to fish. It's really comfortable. It's got a enclosed restroom. It's got a little cuddy cabin. You can get out there. The cockpit's nice and big, and plenty of room for everybody. And yeah, she's ready to go. I've been working on her, I mean, almost every day, because it's like when we're not fishing, we got to make sure that we're ready to fish. And I've been doing just a ton of stuff, little upgrades, little tweaks, some maintenance stuff, and it's ready to go. I do have some summer deals going. Just get a hold of me. We have the QR code here. And if you're driving, you can call me at 619-431-3070. And I'd love to get you out on my boat. And another thing I'd love to do is go guide on your boat. So if you're anywhere here, on the West Coast or Southern California, area, give me a shout, and I'd love to get out on your boat. And call me, check out my website, call Captain Dave. We'll get you out there.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for that. Hey, Captain Al Clowers, let them all know what you got going on, buddy. Tell them about your fleet.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Captain Alan Clowers. So I have a 36-foot Riviera 6-pack boat. That's immaculate. It has a aftermarket bow rail, 3 bait tanks, searchlight sonar. Has all the bells and whistles. I take 6 people max on it, from little 4 hours with family in the bay to up to 12-hour trips and everything in between on that. And then I also have a 20-foot Stringari skiff that I keep in the bay for all the bay trips. That is 1 to 3 people. And if the fish are in the skinny water, that's the boat. That's why I have it, to fish super shallow water. And then I also do a bunch of guiding on the lakes. That's kind of dwindling down right now because I'm focused on the saltwater stuff. But if you want to go to the lake, I got you covered there too. And if you want me to guide you on your boat, I'll be more than happy to do that. If you're in the San Diego area, I can do that. From, it doesn't matter how big it is, but you want to learn how to operate it. You want to learn how to get it out of the slip. You want to go through rods and reels. You want to outfit it. Whatever you need, I got you covered. I do have a special going on, so give me a call if you book this week. So anyway, you can reach me direct, 619-800-3474, or go to my website, captainclowers.com. I have 7 trips booked in July, but every day I'm getting a couple calls, so the dates are going to get snatched up. So pick your day and get on the calendar, and let's go fishing.
Heck yeah, gang. And these 2 guys right here, Pablo and Al, when Pablo mentioned about going with you on your boat, something that we pride ourselves on over here at Your Saltwater Guide, gang, every one of our guys, Sonny, Pablo, Al, and Justin, are licensed through the California Fish and Wildlife. They are licensed guides. There's a lot of guys out there that want to take your money. They'll be more than happy to take your money. They're running illegally. They're running illegal guide services. These guys are licensed guides. So when they come with you on your boat, is a totally different thing than when you go with them on their boat. When Al shows up on your boat, he's a licensed guide with a captain's license. You can't just go on someone's boat and teach them how to fish if you don't have a guide license, even if you have a captain's license. I'm just telling you the law. You might have been doing it that way for 100 years. You're just very, very lucky that you haven't been caught yet. My guys are licensed. Pablo's got a guide license. Al's got a guide license. Justin has a guide license. Sonny has a guide license. So we pride ourselves on that. We show up to your boat with what you need to fish. We don't show up with a bunch of crap. We bring exactly what you're going to need. Captain Al, Captain Pablo, Captain Justin, they have what you need. They're also going to teach you how to use all the things that you already bought. There's nobody that's going to be able to teach you how to use your fish finder like these guys are, because this is what they do every single day on a daily basis. They're out on their boat finding fish. They're going to teach you how to use your GPS. Even though you already think you know because you read that little handbook about how to use it, they're going to show you how to use it to catch more fish. They're going to show you how to use your fish finding apparatus to locate the bottom, the fish, the hard bottoms. They're going to put a bunch of spots in your machine, which you can go back to when they're not with you, with your children and your friends and family, and go catch fish. And you may be doing everything right, but you just want that confidence that you know you're doing everything right. You call Pablo or Al, they're coming with you on your boat. They're going to make sure you do everything right. The one thing, though, that I want to help you all out with, these guys aren't coming on your boat to be your deckhand. They're not coming on your boat to take care of your 7 or 8 friends. When you hire these guys, you want them to teach you what they know. It's not a day for you to take 5 of your buddies and drink 65 beers and go out and have Pablo and Al running around in circles, making sure that they tie on your hooks and everything. It's the day. When you take these guys with you, it's a learning day. It's a day to learn how to fish the Coronados, or learn how to fish Mission Bay, or learn how to fish Back Bay San Diego, or learn how to fish Mission Bay. Do yourself a favor and make that a day of learning. Don't bring a bunch of people. Can these 2 guys handle it? Absolutely. They can handle you bringing 100 drunks, no problem. But that's not what they want to do. That's not what they're hoping you hired them for. They want to teach you, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the time to go over everything from pre-trip boat inspections, what checks you should be doing, all the safety stuff that we do, and then everything from reading electronics, how to anchor, how to fly a kite if you want, whatever you want to do, trolling methods, anything. We don't pull anything back, and it's a good idea to have a punch list for us to go over things that you want covered, and then we all have our own punch lists that we're going to go over with you as well. So yeah, it's a great experience. It's good for us too. But yeah, it's the time to absorb everything, take notes, videotape it. I've had a lot of people videotape when we're out there and just, take notes and things like that.
And Captain Al, you've met a bunch of really good friends by doing the guide thing, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And what the cool thing is when you show up for the list that they have, when you leave, they're confident on that list, and it feels good, When you got a 50-foot boat that's in a tight spot, and I look at the situation, and I'm like using everything I got to make it happen, and then I show them about 3 or 4 times, and then they do it, and it's just a really cool feeling. By the time I leave, they can pull their boat in and out of a super tight spot. That's been the case with the last 3 clients I've had.
Yeah, gang, it's an incredible thing to do. And I don't know what happened, because I I invented this out of thin air, the Your Saltwater Guide thing, where I go with you on your boat and teach you how to do it on your boat. And that kind of was my deal for a long time. And I would run 10, 12 boats a month, no problem, that I've never been on before in my life, and then have the other regular people. Most people, once you have Pablo or Al on your boat, you go out the next time without them on there and you're like, oh my gosh, it's not as easy as they made it look. Next thing you know, you're only going out if Pablo or Al are with you, because you want to make sure your friends catch something when they go. Because you come back from a trip with Al on your boat and you're like, oh my gosh, it was wide open every da-da-da-da. Then you go out there without Al and you're like, it's still really good fishing, but now you have to do everything. You have to take all those fish off. You have to clean all the fish on the way home. You're like, wow, I forgot all the things Pablo did today, or all the things Al did. So it's a really cool service. You should take advantage of it. If you have a boat, you should check it all out. And then at the last thing we're going to leave you with, gang, if all that sounds too intimidating and you're terrified, you look at Pablo and you're like, I don't want that guy around my kids. Or you look at Al and you're like, that guy's kind of scary. He looks like Aryan Brotherhood. You can simply join the Your Saltwater Guide website, and you don't have to worry about these guys coming, and you can kind of try to figure it all out on your own. But I'm telling you, there's nothing like having these guys. They're both really good human beings, and they're going to take really good care of you and your family. So give them a call, check it out. And the other thing, if you're part of our website and part of our community, you get Al's phone number, you get Pablo's phone number, you get Justin's phone number. And you guys, I'm so happy to have you guys with me, because so many people on the community talk about how Pablo made their day, or Al they called you when they're out on the water and you just made their day. You gave them a nugget and they went and they caught a bunch of fish. You two guys have saved many, many people's day out there on the water just by answering your phone. It's pretty amazing, right?
Yep, we try. Always doesn't work, but it's fishing, right?
Yeah, and it's great, like the connections we made, like with me with the Stanleys, and I've taken so many people out as either a guide service or a charter service, and from this community and our website here, and we're friends. We're like lifelong friends now. And like Captain Dave was saying, they're going to get a hold of somebody. If you really need to get a hold of one of us, you can get a hold of any one of us, and we'll figure out how to get a hold of the other one. But we're usually all available unless we're out in the zone or something like that. But yeah, it's great to get the phone calls and the feedback. I mean, I just feel like the community is doing so good now, they don't even need us. It's like they're on autopilot. They're just freaking slamming them. I'm going to be calling everybody else for tips, because man, what I see on the community page is just amazing. It just keeps getting better. Every single weekend is just better. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it is. And Lisa, Burrito Catfishing Lady, absolutely. From today forward, every single thing that goes wrong is absolutely Lisa's fault. Right, Al?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're just happy to let you guys let us into your lives on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Thank you all very, very much. I'm the most appreciative and humble human being. I know I don't sound like it most of the time. I sound pretty cocky, but I'm super humble. If you had any idea where I've come from and where I've been and where I'm sitting at today, I am very humbled by all of you following us on a daily basis. Matt Ryan, I can't thank you enough. Matt's all, hey, do you think anybody would be interested in watching me fishing live? I'm like, dude, let's do it. He went live today. We've had over 4,000 people watch you on Facebook. We've had over 3,000 people watch him on YouTube. I don't know the number on Rumble and TikTok and Insta yet, but it's a big number, Matt Ryan. So thank you. And everybody that watched, how fun was that today? Pablo still got the record though. 77,000 people watched Pablo. We stared at his motors for 4.5 hours. 77,000, but we're killing it, guys, because of all of you. None of us would be sitting here talking to you today if it wasn't for you guys watching us. So thank you all very much.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
So it's hard sometimes. Well, it's going to get easier because the fish are going to start biting a lot better. So some of the live should get pretty wild.
So just keep watching this, gang. We'll keep going live. And then a huge announcement, Pablo and Al, you'll be blown away tomorrow.
All right.
We're going to be live at Alejos Rocks with Captain Roy Rose, Tim Ekstrom, and Duke Ekstrom from the bridge of the Royal Star at Alejos Rocks at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time tomorrow at noon. If you guys don't know what the rocks are, it's a pretty magical place way the hell down in Mexico, way off the beach. We're going to be live at Alejos Rocks with the gang on the Royal Star tomorrow with Michael Folks. It's going to be an incredible time. I can't wait.
That's cool. They bite down there.
It's just cool.
And big yellows and big tuna.
It's just cool to be invited into the wheelhouse on a long-range boat, gang. You don't know how special that is. You guys are all lucky. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Slap your friends. Kick your dog. Get everybody up and watch the show tomorrow. It's going to be insane. I'm going to slap a monkey right now. You better be good. You got to watch Tim tomorrow. Look at him. He's hiding out up here. Check this out. He's hiding out. Look at his little head sticking out of that blanket up there. You better be a good monkey. Yes, you. Oh, my gosh. He's such a knucklehead. All right, everybody. Thank you all very much for watching our show today. We'll see you all tomorrow. Remember, turn off the news. They're all lying. This is the only place you get the truth. And enjoy the tax on your gas tomorrow in Southern California. Yeah, go, Gavin. You're the man. I can't wait till you're running the whole